Hey guys, it's GameFix here and welcome back to a little bit of a different video. Today I'm going to be talking about my Premier League 2016/17 season predictions. Now, this was requested in the comments of one of my Q&A videos and I just thought I'd do a separate video. I was already, to be honest, planning to do one of these sort of videos at some point, and I thought, why not, let's do it before the opening weekend of the Premier League season. It's obviously going to be the most competitive Premier League season ever. We already know about all the different managers and the players that the different teams have bought and how much money is being spent this year again. But we've got to decide, or I'm going to try and predict what I think will be basically the top 8, the winner of obviously the Premier League, and the bottom 3. I'm also going to be predicting like the first round fixtures and that sort of thing as well. So we'll start from the bottom. I'm going to go with my bottom 3 first of all, and I'm going to go with Watford, Burnley and Hull. Now, I'm not too sure about the order. I reckon Watford will only just go down. I think they're going to be third bottom, and then Burnley and Hull, not really too sure. I think it'll be possibly Burnley second bottom, Hull bottom. I just don't really fancy either of the teams this year. They've not really spent that much. You look at Middlesbrough, they've brought in Negredo, they've brought in some other big names as well, Valdez as well. I'm not really convinced by the Burnley and Hull squad. I don't think they've really brought in any good players. They've lost Steve Bruce at Hull, and it kind of seemed to have been a little bit all over the place at the moment, Hull. So I think they'll go down along with Burnley and Watford. I think Watford might be a bit of a shock, them going down, but I think they'll get rid of Ighalo as well. So it's going to be one of those sort of seasons where it's very unpredictable, but again, that is what I think my bottom 3 is going to be: Watford, Burnley and Hull. I think those 3 will go down. Let me know in the comments below what you think about that prediction. As with all these predictions I make, let me know what you think and what you would go with in the comments below. And yeah, I'm going to move on to now my top 8. We'll start in 8th place. Again, this is roughly what I think it'll be. It's probably not going to be correct whatsoever because of all the twists and turns that happen in the Premier League. But we'll go with top 8. I think 8th place will be Leicester. I think then West Ham will be about 7th, Spurs 6th. I think Arsenal and Chelsea will be 5th and 4th. I'm not too sure which way around that'll be. I think Chelsea will just nick the Champions League spot 4th, and I think Arsenal will just miss out in 5th place. Liverpool, I'm going to go 3rd. I think Man United will be 2nd, and that means I think Man City are going to win the league this year. I think they've kind of got to with Pep Guardiola being in charge. He is probably the best manager in the world. He's won all sorts, really, and hasn't really failed at any clubs. So I think he's got to win it. Obviously, it's going to be very close between him and Jose Mourinho. I think this year it's probably going to be a 2-horse race for the most part. Although it's very difficult to tell because I think Liverpool have got a very strong team as well this year. So it's very difficult to tell what's going to happen. I just think Man City, the players that they've already signed, the players that are going to sign, obviously they brought in Stones recently, who could be made into a very good defender under Pep Guardiola. It just really does depend exactly how the season starts, I think, for Man City and what other players are brought in between now and obviously the end of the transfer window. Man United signing Zlatan, Mkhitaryan, and obviously Pogba more recently for a world record fee. That's going to obviously mean that they've got high hopes to try and win the league this year. My thing is, though, what happens if Mourinho comes second this year, or if Pep Guardiola comes second this year? I mean, it's likely to be one of those two that does come second. So what happens to them? I mean, that's kind of going to be a failure for them this season with the amount of money that's been spent by both of them. So it's going to be a really interesting season. How are they going to react to being second, either of those two? Obviously, you know, there's many other managers. We've got Klopp, Conte, Wenger, Pochettino, Stefan Bilic, Ranieri, obviously, as well, who we still can't really rule out despite losing Kante. So it's one of those ones where you can't really predict what's going to happen. But again, let me know in the comments below what you think about that. Let me know your top 8 and obviously the winner and that sort of thing, as well as who will go down this year, you reckon. And also, my final predictions are pretty much going to be about the first round fixtures. So basically, the first fixtures that are played by all the Premier League clubs. So the first, obviously, 10 fixtures that are played on the opening weekend or opening 3 days, however it is. And basically, the first game is, I believe, Hull and Leicester. I think this one's actually going to be quite a good victory for Leicester. I think they're going to start off the season very well, despite losing, obviously, in the Community Shield to Man United not so long back. I think it's going to be a 3-0 win to Leicester. Afterwards, you've got Burnley and Swansea. I actually think Burnley will get off to a good start. Swansea losing a few players. It looks like Ashley Williams is going to leave. And obviously, new manager, I think, as well. No, kept the same manager, but I'm not still 100% convinced by him. So I'm going to go 2-1 Burnley. Then I've got Palace and West Brom being quite a close game. Probably not a great game. It seems like Balassi is going to Everton for about 25 million. That could well have happened by then. And I'm going to go Palace 1-0 just because they've got Townsend. And they've also got Mandanda as well, who I think will get him a few clean sheets this year. So I don't think West Brom will score. I think it'll be 1-0 Palace for that game. Then the next match is Everton versus Spurs. Obviously Everton losing John Stones. Apparently Jagielka might be going to Sunderland, although they might be getting in some new signings at centre-back as well, as other players are being linked with Ashley Williams, who pretty much will be confirmed very shortly, I'd imagine, along with other players like Kone from Sunderland. But Everton versus Spurs, I'm going to say 3-1 Spurs. I just think their squad is going to be better. I think they've already got a lot of talent in there. We saw how good they were in the pre-season games earlier on. So I think they're going to win it quite convincingly, 3-1 in the end. We've got Middlesbrough versus Stoke. I actually think Middlesbrough do quite well in this opening game. I think it's going to be 2-2, a very tight game, probably with Stoke leading most of the way and Middlesbrough trying to catch up. But I think it'll end in a draw, that one. Southampton-Watford, I think that's going to be 1-1. Southampton brought in a few players. They've also got rid of quite a few players, as ever, with them. But Watford, I think, will get off to an okay start against Southampton. 1-1 is what I'm going to go with. Man City versus Sunderland, big game. I think it was a similar sort of game on the opening season last year, actually, Man City-Sunderland. I'm pretty sure they played one of the weaker teams, and I'm going to say 4-1 Man City. The reason why I've given Sunderland a goal on that one is I think Man City's defence will be a little bit shaky on the opening day. Obviously, Stones might well start, he might not. It depends, really, whether he's up to on the right fitness and that sort of thing. So I think Sunderland will score. It'll probably be Defoe or someone like that. But I'm going to say 4 Man City. I think they'll get off to a good start there. You've also got Man United versus Bournemouth. Man United away at Bournemouth. I think it'll be 3-0 Man United. Quite a convincing victory. A clean sheet as well is what I'm going to go with. Again, just with the amount of talent that they've brought in, I'm pretty sure they'll get quite a few goals there. Zlatan wouldn't really surprise me to get him on the score sheet yet again. Arsenal versus Liverpool, and I think it was on Monday night as well, that game, so I'm going to go with 3-2 Liverpool. I'm saying Liverpool just here because I think, again, they've made the better signings. I think Mane looks really good. Obviously got Firmino, Coutinho, Sturridge, who's now out injured, so he'll actually miss that game, but they've still got a lot of good players, and I think Arsenal might struggle a little bit with the lack of centre-backs that they've got at the moment. I still think they'll score a couple of goals, Arsenal, so I'm going to go 3-2 Liverpool. And the final game of the opening round of fixtures is Chelsea-West Ham. Now, for this game, I've gone for 2-2, as you can see on the little graphic there. I've gone for 2-2 basically because I think obviously West Ham have added quite a few decent players into the team. Obviously Ayew might well be available for that match, and I think they've actually got quite a good squad, West Ham. New stadium, yes, they're away, I know, but it kind of brings a bit more positivity to the club, that sort of thing. And I think just the new players that they brought in, they look really good and quite sharp at the moment, West Ham. So I'm going to go 2-2. I think Chelsea, yes, they brought in a couple of decent players, but I don't think they've really overhauled the squad like the Manchester clubs have this year. So I think they're on the back foot a little bit, and that's why I think the opening game result will be quite even. I'm going to go 2-2 for that one. And that pretty much concludes all the first round fixtures, the predictions for them. Let me know again about those in the comments below, what you reckon will happen. You can pick out obviously some of the main games, you don't have to necessarily go through all 10 fixtures. But yeah, that is pretty much everything for my predictions. The last thing for me to say is if you would like to see something similar to this again next week for the next round of fixtures or anything like that prediction wise, let me know in the comments below. I've quite enjoyed doing this. It's been pretty good just to kind of get my predictions out there so I can see how well I've done at the end of the season, how close it really was. But like I said at the start of the video, this is going to be the most competitive season ever of the Premier League. It's going to be an incredible season. It's difficult to know how the manager's going to react to losing to the smaller teams, which we can assume, again, will probably happen with it being the Premier League. How's Pep Guardiola going to deal with possibly losing to the likes of Burnley or Hull or someone like that, who's recently just got promoted? So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. I'm really looking forward to the new weekend ahead. Again, let me know in the comments below about everything I've talked about in this video, and also if you'd like me to do something similar again. And yeah, that is pretty much it for the video. Thank you all for watching. If we could go ahead and hit 25 likes on this video, that'd be really appreciated. Also, if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. That'd be absolutely fantastic. That is it. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.